on the Rockbridge Report.
A landslide in the Pacific Northwest has brought in heavy equipment to help locate the survivors.
The calendar says it's spring, but someone needs to tell Mother Nature.
Walking with History, how Lexington will honor historical figures with ties to the Rockbridge area.
All that and more on the Rockbridge Report.
Live from the campus of Washington and Lee University with news for Rockbridge County, this is the Rockbridge Report.
Welcome to the Rockbridge Report. I'm Kinsey Grant.
And I'm Stephen Young.
The financially troubled Virginia Horse Center is under new direction. Former board president Steve McBroom has resigned, and executive director Catherine Truitt will retire. The new board president, Ernest Orr, told Lexington and Rockbridge County officials of the changes at a meeting Monday. He also unveiled new financial plans that the city and county had requested 4 weeks ago. The Horse Center is asking for a 1 cent per dollar increase on the local lodging tax to help pay off its $11 million debt. City and county officials say they are encouraged by the Horse Center's changes, but they aren't ready yet to approve the tax increase. Buena Vista is doing its best to preserve its bare-bones budget. City Manager Jay Scudder says he is trying to keep city finances in the black without increasing taxes. The city has the highest property tax rate in Rockbridge area, but Scudder says state-mandated spending increases for pensions and other items will keep the city looking for ways to save elsewhere, mainly by staff cuts. City Council is scheduled to vote on the proposed budget in mid-April.
The Boston Fire Department mourns its own this morning after a fire broke out in western Boston yesterday. The blaze took the lives of 2 firefighters and injured more than a dozen more. CNN's Andrew Spencer has more.
Fueled by strong winds, flames quickly spread through the 4-story building west of downtown Boston.
In 30 years, I've never seen a fire travel that fast, escalate that quickly, and create such havoc in such a short period of time.
More than 150 firefighters responded with about 25 fire trucks to the building on Beacon Street. They rescued a number of people stuck on upper floors. At one point, an explosion blew firefighters downstairs. Officials later announced the grim news.
It was Lieutenant Ed Walsh of Engine 33 and firefighter Michael Kennedy, also of Engine 33.
Today is a sad day for the city of Boston. We lost 2 heroes here today. It makes me proud to be mayor of the city of Boston after watching the way that the men and women of the Boston Fire Department worked today.
Officials say Walsh and Kennedy became trapped soon after entering the building. They were both later found in the basement, where the fire appears to have started. Walsh leaves behind a wife and 3 children. Kennedy, a veteran, served in the Marine Corps.
Citizens were saved, and that's what we do. We sacrifice our life for the citizens of the city of Boston.
13 other firefighters suffered injuries from burns to broken bones fighting the blaze. I'm Andrew Spencer reporting.
The Rockbridge County School Board adopted a $28.6 million budget proposal Monday. The proposal calls for nearly $2 million in increases from the current budget. Most of those increases would come from faculty and staff costs like healthcare, retirement benefits, and raises. The board also hopes to add 6 new elementary teachers and 1 groundskeeper. Revenues are expected to come about equally from state and local sources. County supervisors still need to approve the budget, but their job is complicated by the State General Assembly's failure so far to pass its own budget. Rockbridge County's nearly 3,000 school children are spread over 600 square miles. That means long bus rides for some, and those bus rides got longer when school officials decided to consolidate Rockbridge and Maury River middle schools. County Transportation Supervisor Randy Walters talked to the Rockbridge Report's Krista Huber about managing bus routes.
Overwhelming concerns that we had from parents with the closing of school was that our bus routes would get longer. Students would be on the bus a lot longer, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes longer than they were at their local middle school. But I think it may have increased it somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes.
Education beat reporter Krista Huber rode the buses of Rockbridge County. For her in-depth look at school busing here, check out rockbridgereport.washingtonandlee.net.
16 people are confirmed dead, with an additional 90 missing after a disastrous landslide in Washington state last weekend. Bulldozers, excavators, and volunteer search parties are still combing the area looking for lost loved ones. CNN's George Howell reports on the search effort.
It's a slow, laborious process, moving through the mud and debris, searching for victims. This video, the very latest, taken from the disaster zone, as the rescue and recovery operation continues. Even the mayor of nearby Darrington admits,
this project is so big, we can't do this ourselves. The magnitude of it and the severity and the distance, material traveled, and the energy that it took to get there is something that you can't wrap your head around.
Locals began digging right away, trying to help each other. But now, more regional and state resources are in play. To cover the 1 square mile of land, officials tell us there are 7 excavators on the ground to help sift through the mud, 5 gravel trucks to load and remove debris, 1 bulldozer on site, 16 timber cutters, and 85 urban search and rescue crews, along with dozens of volunteers. 2 Black Hawk helicopters are also en route to search from above. With so many teams and crews on the ground, you find tent cities like this, where search and rescue teams are setting up for the long haul. And now we know that more federal help is also on the way.
The emergency declaration was focused on making sure there were resources right away in terms of emergency response. Right now, they're looking at expanding that to help with debris removal and ongoing efforts as we look to recovery in that area.
It's help that Congresswoman Susan DelBene knows will make a big difference in the days and weeks ahead. And although it's welcome in these parts,
we pride ourselves on our resiliency and our self-reliance.
Help isn't something this community is used to asking for.
Lexington's Kroger on East Nelson Street is getting a facelift. Manager Scott Leonard says his store is one of a number nationwide that are being remodeled. He says customers were asked for the upgrade to give Kroger a more modern feel. The store has been closing at 10 p.m. instead of midnight to accommodate the work, now in its 3rd week. The renovation should be finished by late July.
Warm weather this weekend turned into snow earlier this week. Weather anchor Marielle LaFair will tell us what to expect from the rest of the week.
It's mostly sunny and 49 degrees here on Washington and Lee's campus. The warm temperatures are going to continue on through the weekends, but unfortunately, the sunshine won't. Stay tuned to find out more.
One of the nation's biggest sporting events involves more than just the players. Find out the NCAA's economic effect later on the Rockbridge Report.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls. But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
Kids will spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes twice a day. They have the time.
Ever wonder what makes us, the Smurfs, so happy? The forest, of course. This is where we, along with the beautiful forest creatures, make our home with beautiful plant life, clean water, and endless adventures. It's a place to celebrate. So discover the forest with your family today. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
sight that's become all too familiar this winter: snow. The Rockbridge area saw another few inches on Monday, and county schools were closed yet again. Olivia Hampton has more on our crazy weather.
Snowstorms sweeping through Virginia this winter have caused the State Department of Transportation to exceed its snow removal budget by $100 million. And Rockbridge County schools have missed 13 days of school. But Lexington Police Captain Bucky Miller says this hasn't been the worst the area has seen.
We've had some snowstorms bigger than this.
Even so, this winter exceeded the average for Rockbridge County. The National Climatic Data Center reported 13 events of heavy snowfall between 2000 and 2013, with only 4 of those events occurring in March. The National Weather Service says the average annual snowfall in this region of Virginia is about 18 inches, with about 13 of that falling from January through March. But this winter, about 22 inches of snow accumulated in the 2 major storms. The Weather Service reported an additional 5 inches from the snow earlier this week. Miller says being prepared helped the area get through this winter's snowstorms.
The Weather Service did a great job telling us what to expect. So people went out before the storm and got prepared.
Miller says better means of communication helped.
I think the city and the county have always been working with people. There's just more ways to do it. We've got Rockbridge Alert now.
The Alert Rockbridge system provides quick contact with local residents by email, text message, or by phone in case of a major emergency or other crisis, like dangerous weather conditions. School closings throughout the area were commonplace this winter. Even Washington and Lee University lost 3 days. WNL Junior James McCullum says that isn't normal.
I had multiple professors tell me that WNL hasn't canceled class or canceled a whole day in a number of years, I think, but then to cancel, I think, 2 or 3 was astonishing.
Miller says the Rockbridge area handled this winter better than in the past.
I think as an area we're getting better and better and better.
Even so, it appears that people are ready for the end of winter, like Rockbridge County resident of 15 years, George Houlihan.
I can't wait for the real spring to start.
For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Olivia Hampton.
Well, I think I speak for everyone in saying that we're ready for some spring weather. Any chance we'll see some sunshine this week, Marielle?
Kinsey, I can't promise you that it's going to be sunny, but I can promise you it's going to be warm. But for now, let's take a look at current conditions. As you can see, today's high was 49 degrees. It was mostly sunny, although a bit windy. Overnight tonight, you can expect to see that temperature drop to 36. Now let's take a look at what's been going on in neighboring cities. You can see here that temperatures are pretty consistent throughout the area, although down in Lynchburg it was a bit warmer. Now moving on to our radar, not much is showing up. Not much is showing up, although there is some cloud coverage. And here's a look at our 5-day forecast. Friday and Saturday, it's going to be definitely warm, but it's going to be mostly rainy. You can definitely expect to see a lot of rain. Sunday also, it's going to be warm with a high of 59, although there's going to be a lot of cloud coverage. Moving on to Monday, high of 72 with mostly sunny skies. Tuesday, high of 60 with, again, partly cloudy, but some sunshine should be coming through. I'm Marielle Fair for the Rockbridge Report. Back to you guys.
There is one advantage to a late spring. Wintergreen Ski Resort announced yesterday it will stay open for another week. The Nelson County Resort is a popular attraction for Virginia residents and draws over 1,000 people at the height of the winter season. Owner Jim Justice said in February he is open to selling the resort, but it looks as if he'll keep the property until the season ends April 5th. Repairs are set to begin on Lexington's North Main Street Bridge over the Route 11 bypass. Starting Monday, one of the 2 lanes on the bridge will be closed. City Public Works Director Mike Kennedy says traffic on Campbell Lane will be prevented from turning left to head into the city during the 4-month construction period. After the break, learn more about how Lexington is drawing attention to its historic past with a new walkway through downtown.
And later in the show, I'll tell you how a landmark decision could change college athletics. Stay tuned to the Rockbridge Report.
what you want to do is, have you already enrolled? You're doing fine.
What did that just do?
Select the drop-down menu again. Wait. You're already enrolled. Example here, so don't panic. You're ready to make your payment. Submit. There it is.
Oh my God! I really can't believe it.
That's awesome. Good for you.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
A few years back, a deal that would have brought a Fortune 500 paper company's warehouse to the Rockbridge area fell through. That and other missed industrial opportunities made some view the area as anti-industry. The former head of the now-defunct Economic Development Organization blames wealthy retirees and an anti-development stigma for keeping industry away. But the county's current director of economic development, Sam Krickenberger, disagrees.
So, I think it's a real exciting time right now, and I think we've got a very positive business climate, and I'm sorry for people that have memories that just don't go away.
Krickenberger says the success of Devil's Backbone Brewing Company and the upcoming expansion of Heatex America show that the area can be successful in manufacturing. Devil's Backbone is a Nelson County-based brewery that began expanding at its site on Route 11 North just a year after coming to Rockbridge County. Heatex's facility in Natural Bridge Station produces heat exchangers, which are used in air conditioning, heating, cell phones, and refrigerators. Former Governor Bob McDonnell and his wife appealed to a federal judge earlier this week to try them separately. McDonnell and his wife are accused of taking over $165,000 in gifts and loans from Johnny Williams, the former CEO of Star Scientific Incorporated. The McDonnells say that trying the couple together would limit their ability to introduce key evidence at trial.
Lexington is paving its own celebrity path from Robert E. Lee to the country's first streaker. A collection of significant names in local history is going on brick pavers downtown. Local artist and entrepreneur Mark Klein is one of the catalysts for the Righteous and Rascals of Rockbridge County. He talked to the Rockbridge Report's Athena Cow.
Sometime last year, and I was just actually walking down the street, and Nan Wolf, the chairlady of this whole committee, she grabbed me by the arm and she pulled me into her store and she said, "Look, I want you on this campaign, Mark." We wanted folks from the community to submit people that they thought was worthy. Mike Seeger, a very famous musician, just passed away, so we have him there. Stonewall Jackson. This was the last man hung in Lexington. He was hung in 1906. Back behind the old jailhouse.
The Righteous and Rascals of Rockbridge County was inspired by two pavers that have already been installed here on Main Street. They honor explorers Meriwether Lewis and William Clark. Now more are on the way.
These are all people that you might not see, you might not glamorize, but they are interesting people. All of us on the committee had a say in not only who's going to go on the paver, but what is said on the pavers. Because we're very limited to what can be said. But the idea is that once you look at that, that's sort of a teaser. Then you can look online, or we're looking at coming up with a brochure that explains a little more about the people. We can put up to 76 pavers, but we're going to probably put in 45 or 50 of them and leave that open because one of the requirements is you have to be dead. Well, there's a website, rrrockbridge.org, that people can look up and get information on who has been funded and who has not been funded. Typically a paver is $250. The bricks are very distinctive. When people are walking down the street, their eyes are always down on those bricks. And so we're just trying to follow the trail here. You know, while they're already looking down, well then, you know, surprise, surprise, you've got something else to look for now.
The first 19 pavers should be in place in April. George Crump's name is on one of them. Crump is said to be the first recorded streaker in the country. He was a student at Washington College, now Washington Lee University, when he was arrested for running naked through Lexington in 1804. He later served briefly in Congress. For the Rockbridge Report, I'm Athena Tao.
The public will have to wait to find out specific details surrounding the attack on Senator Creigh Deeds by his son Gus last November. Inspector General Michael Morhart said the state police asked to withhold the incident report from the public, citing professional judgment instead of legal basis. This news comes after former lead investigator Douglas Bevilacqua resigned after accusing the state of tampering with his initial report.
In Wisconsin, one man is charged with a $5 million theft. The item he allegedly stole, a Stradivarius violin. The 36-year-old suspect appeared in court yesterday. CNN's Colleen Henry was there.
Police say he bought the stun gun used to steal a Stradivarius from a Milwaukee Symphony virtuoso.
At this point, would be entering a not guilty plea.
Wednesday, Universal Knowledge Allah pleaded not guilty and left court on $500 cash bail. After entering his not guilty plea, Allah came upstairs to Justice Point, which performs court-ordered drug testing. Soon he was headed back to the courtroom. He'd flunked his drug test.
Mr. Allah went up and tested positive for THC.
The judge let him go with a warning, but when reporters asked questions,
I don't want you talking to him without me. Okay.
His lawyer snuck him out a courtroom back door.
Is this special treatment, Mr. Allah, that you're getting from the court?
When cameras caught up, his lawyer let his client slip out, then blocked the courthouse door till a deputy intervened.
Paul, you gotta let him through.
You gotta let us through, sir. You gotta let us through.
12 News caught up with Allah and his other lawyer.
Mr. Allah, we really haven't had the opportunity to talk to you. And this is a pretty crazy case. What can you tell us about it?
Mr. Allah does not wish to make a statement today. You have to honor his right to privacy.
And were you smoking dope this morning, sir?
That was out of line.
His lawyer says Allah tested positive because he inhaled someone else's secondhand pot smoke.
Next, sports anchor Alexandra Seymour will update us on the county's sports teams. Stay with us.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up at that, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers. First pitch is fouled to back.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
Northwestern University athletes can legally form a union, according to a federal agency. The Nation Labor Relations Board ruled yesterday that Northwestern student athletes qualify as employees under federal law and can legally form a players' union. This verdict could have major ramifications for the National Collegiate Athletics Association. The NCAA has come under fire recently, with some people claiming that the executives and coaches make too much money while players don't earn a salary. After a tough week of March Madness, my bracket was ruined. How's yours looking, Alexandra?
About as good as yours, Kinsey. Who would have thought 4 teams seeded 8th or lower would make the Sweet 16? Everyone loves March Madness, but a lot of people forget about the impact this tournament has off the court. CNN's David Barris went to Indianapolis to see just how the tournament is affecting the city's economy.
Want a hotel room in downtown Indianapolis this weekend? Be prepared to pay.
Actually, we got a handful of rooms left, but they're very high rates for a 2-night stay.
Phil Ray, general manager of the Marriott Downtown, says sellouts are never certain with NCAA regional action, but this year is different.
There's absolutely no question. The matchup between the teams that are all close enough to drive, but also able to come in for that Friday and Saturday nights has caused incredible demand here in the city.
Louisville and Kentucky are both an easy drive to Indy. Tennessee and Michigan are further, but are still drivable. Yet all 4 are far enough away that fans plan to stay overnight. And, says Visit Indy's Chris Gall, that puts rooms at a premium.
In 2013, our downtown hotels were able to command, on average, a $140 average daily room rate. This weekend, hotels are generating and creating $250 to even $350 per room per night.
Ticket prices on the secondary market for the Louisville-Kentucky game are nearly double what they were for last year's tournament games, says Mike Peduto of Circle City Tickets.
Right now, it's about $100 a ticket just to get in that evening, for the worst seats.
Peduto says most buyers are from out of state. Having the Friday-Sunday games helps. Fans from teams that win Friday will head to Indy Saturday, easily filling in for those who leave because their teams lost.
We're looking at sold-out hotels, sold-out Lucas Oil Stadium, our bars and restaurants jam-packed, and to the tune of $20 million in estimated economic impact.
$20 million in extra revenue just from one weekend. That's incredible. Although none of the county's colleges made it to the big dance, VMI is rolling in a different tournament. VMI is in the collegeinsider.com tournament and advanced to the semifinals with a win over Ohio last night. It was a stunning last-point victory as Keydette senior Rodney Glasgow had 30 points against the Bobcats. VMI's DJ Covington hit the final free throws to seal the deal for the Keydettes. Their semifinal game will be April 1st, with the site and team to be determined. The weather saw every baseball team in the county have to cancel their Wednesday games, but VMI is on the road Friday. The Keydettes will be at Gardner-Webb tomorrow to start a 7-game road trip. The Keydettes have won their last 4 games, but the Bulldogs will look to get out of a 2-game slump of their own. VMI and Gardner-Webb face off tomorrow night at 6. Washington and Lee will play host to Eastern Mennonite at Captain Dick Smith Field today. That game should have started at 4. WNL have held opponents to a combined 2 runs in their last 3 games. EMU is on a 7-game losing streak. The Generals and the Royals are playing right now over on Captain Dick Smith Field. SVU is in action as well today. The Knights are on the road for the rare Thursday doubleheader against Frostburg State. The first game between those two wrapped up earlier today. SVU went into the series having scored 14 runs in its win against St. Mary's of Maryland. First pitch for Game 2 between SVU and Frostburg State will be at 4:30, just after we wrap up here at the Rockbridge Report. WNL and SVU's women were in action this week in the lacrosse field. The 11th ranked Generals will play at Virginia Wesleyan over the weekend. The blue and white are fresh off a victory over a conference rival Roanoke that saw them give up 9 goals, but score 11. As for the Marlins, they won their last game against Bridgewater, but stand at only 4-5 on the season. The Generals and the Marlins will face off Saturday afternoon at 1 o'clock in Virginia Beach. SVU's women's lacrosse team is on the road for their game against St. Mary's of Maryland. The Knights are on a 5-game losing streak. The Seahawks aren't faring much better, sporting a 4-5 record coming into the contest. St. Mary's lost its last game to Washington College by 1 goal. The Knights and the Seahawks will play Saturday afternoon at 2. That's all I've got for you this week in sports.
I'm Alexandra Seymour.
Thanks, Alexandra. Hopefully the weather will sort itself out so the county's baseball teams can get into a rhythm. That's all for this week's Rockbridge Report. I'm Kinsey Grant.
And I'm Stephen Young. Don't forget to check out our website at www.rockbridgereport.washingtonlee.net. Thanks for watching and have a good night.